1300 WIMG and WPHY Channel 25 proudly presents today's topic on Trenton Talks. Today's topic is a program that discusses the topics that are important to you. And now, today's topic.
Good evening and welcome to Trenton Talks. I'm your host, Ms. Donna Wellons, on today's topic. And I am so happy to have you all tuning in tonight. I am pleased to introduce and present my guest tonight. Her name is Miss Rose Bennett, and we were just going to basically sit back and have a conversation. As a young woman myself, I love to look up to the older women in our community, or women that's older than me in our community, and just for their support and their wisdom. And so I would just like to basically share one of my jewels that I found in our community in the city of Trenton. I would like to share her with you tonight. I would like to share you, Miss Rose, with our audience tonight, our radio audience and TV audience tonight. On this Stellar Award-winning station, WIMG. And if you happen to be looking at us on television, we're WPHY. So, Miss Bennett, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, and I just want to thank you for all that wonderful stuff you just said about me. I greatly appreciate that.
Well, it's true. It's very, very, very much true. I remember years ago, as a teenager, I remember visiting your house with one of your children, because I grew up with Miss Rose's children. And I remember one time you saying, and I don't remember the conversation, I don't remember, what was going on, but I remember you saying that, I still have my dreams. And that's what I remember you saying one time. And you know what? And I want to talk about some of your dreams. That was way back in the 80s. And I don't know if you even remember the dreams that you may have had at that time, but I want to know if you indeed accomplished any of the dreams that you may have had as a teen or a child or a young woman. Today, as you sit before us as a grandmother, yes, and a great grandmother, right?
Yes.
So tell us about your dreams, and were you able to see any of them come to pass?
Well, one of my biggest dreams was I always wanted to do something that other people would benefit from. Okay. Like they would get something out of something that I did, and I could sit back and watch and not so much say I did that just to be able to say I did that, but to be able to say that because I knew that it was God that had gave it to me. Even as a young kid, even though I didn't know God, I knew of God.
Okay.
And I had sense enough to know, thanks be to my mother,
okay,
that without God, that you really can't do anything.
Right.
So I've always given all the glory and all the thanks to God for anything that I have done. And I want to, like I said, one of my dreams was to do something that other people would benefit from. So a few years ago, and I had written this play several years ago.
Okay.
And when I was a member at a different church, but the play never came to fruition. I never told anybody about it. I never did anything with it. I had just written it. And I had gotten the idea from my pastor at the time. He was not married, and for some reason I used to fantasize about how it would be if he was married with a family. So that was what my play was based on, like a pastor and his family, and in their everyday lives and how they intertwine with other people.
Okay.
Because pastors and religious leaders, they have lives too. They're regular people in a sense too.
So, in other words, you wanted to show people how a religious leader goes about living their life.
Right, living their life with their family and the things that they enjoy doing when they're not behind the pulpit or they're not preaching or teaching God's word. They also, have a life and they enjoy doing other things as well, just like we do.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I don't know that people actually, I'm sure people probably want to know what goes on in these pastors and religious leaders' lives, probably even more so in a negative way. People want to find some scandal.
Yes.
on them. But I think you have a point there as far as people of faith living life. I mean, sometimes I think that people think that once you come into Christ or you come into a particular religion, that life ends. Like it's no more fun. But you was able to show that in your play that there is a life in faith.
Yes, it is. Certainly is, because and also I just wanted to be able to reach people where they were, because not everybody is saved, and everybody have their own idea of church. We all have all these different denominations, but
right.
Glory be to God, it's only one Christ, one
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
But we all do different things, and we all believe in different things. And I just basically wanted to bring that, to the forefront, so that other people could see it.
So how was it? How was your play? How did it work out?
Actually, it worked out very well. We did it in the church I'm in now, New Mount Carmel Baptist Church. Shout out! And we did it in 2010, I think it was, and then we did it again in 2012. And it went very well.
It went very well.
It went very well.
Good. And then did you act in it yourself?
No, I didn't act in it.
You're not an actress.
I'm not an actress or an actor. I don't know. But my real passion is writing, like writing poetry.
Okay.
And that one particular play, God just laid it on my heart. And so far I haven't done anything else in that direction. But I am writing some poetry, and hopefully in the near future, my book of poetry will be published.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm working on that.
Wonderful. So I guess dreams do come true.
Yes, because I've always written, not knowing that it was so much a passion or something.
Right.
It was something that I enjoyed doing from a young girl, writing and taking different things and putting them together, words and stuff. But so now my real dream is to publish this book.
Okay,
so,
wonderful.
And once I do that, I'll be happy.
Well, Miss Bennett, I know that you were a single mom at one time.
Yes.
And raising children like by yourself. I want to hear what you would have to say to that. Like, what kind of advice even would you give young women today that are raising their children? What would you suggest that they do? What's important, do you think? What's one of the most important things that you think a single mom should be concentrating on?
Okay, one of the most important things to me, and again, I have to thank my mother. She introduced me to Christ. And although I wasn't always in Christ, I strayed away and all that, but he was always in my heart. I always knew what was right and what was wrong. Mm-hmm. It's just like the scriptures say, train up a child. That was certainly true in my case. And as far as raising my children, it was very difficult for me. I have 4 boys and 1 girl, but I was home with my mother and my other brothers and siblings, so I was blessed. I had all these people to help me, raise my children and help me with my children. And in this day and age, a lot of these young girls, they don't have that. Right. They don't have that, because I was a baby having babies, and then our babies had babies. Mm-hmm. So you really don't have any in this day and age, you really don't have anybody to help you,
right.
to raise your children or help you in a positive manner.
Right.
But I was very blessed and very lucky, even though I realized it at the time, but then again, I didn't realize
right.
it. You know what I'm saying? But I was very blessed, even down to the part where my one sister, for my second child, she worked at a daycare center. Oh. So she would take him to work with her while I went to work on my other job, on my job. So that in itself was a great blessing, But like I said, I had my mom and all my brothers and my sisters that helped me, and it wasn't nearly as bad for me as it is for some of these, young women out here today and young girls out here today.
So in the condition that they are in today, what would you suggest that they do? What would you suggest? Because obviously many of them don't have parents that are in a situation that may be able to support them, as in your case. So what would you suggest to them if you had the opportunity to give them some advice?
Right now, what I would suggest to them is that even if they're not single parents, that they get their children involved in positive programs. And there's programs like the Boys Club, the Boys and Girls Club, and the YMCA, the YWCA, those types of things. And there's other organizations throughout the city of Trenton. I really can't think of any right now except for Fathers and Sons. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of organizations and a lot of help out here that you can reach out to in order to help you with your children.
Okay, I can definitely appreciate that. Obviously, as a single parent and as a young woman, many young women probably would be in search of a mate.
Now,
so we gotta get down to some of the nitty gritty here. So what advice would you give a young woman looking for a mate? I'm asking you this because I respect your wisdom.
Okay. All right, I can appreciate that.
Okay.
Actually, right now, where I am right now, I would say stop looking and wait on God. That's my answer. But however, I know a lot of us don't do that.
Right.
But I know now, my husband that I met was definitely God sent.
Right.
Because he was everything that I said I never wanted.
Oh.
I never wanted anybody that I met in a club, mm-hmm. and I definitely didn't want anybody that was bartender. Oh. And I met him in one club, and he was a bartender in another club.
Okay.
So, and I always tell people, and when I saw him, I gave him my phone number, something I definitely never did. So I always knew that he was God sent, and I just knew it.
So you are saying to me, now religious folks is getting real hot now. They get real mad, and we got 2 minutes, and then we're gonna take a break. But I understand that some people is getting really hot right now with you admitting that your husband found you in the club, but he was God sent. Oh my goodness. Well, now that's a hot topic right there. Somebody is upset right now. Well, somebody about to go on a fast for that.
If they praying and fasting for me, I just want to thank them in advance. But anyway, a lot of stuff that we do, whether it be religious or the way that we think, is our own personal beliefs or things that we've been taught. And me, I choose to read and comprehend the Bible.
Okay.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, all righty then. That's all she has to say about that, ladies and gentlemen. You heard her, and you heard it here first on the Stella award-winning WIMG 1300 on your AM dial, and that's WIMG1300.com. If you would like to stream in online, we'll be right back at the second half of this interview with Miss Rose Bennett. Thank you very much. Donna Wellons, and we're just having a little conversation, a little woman-to-woman conversation between myself and Miss Rose Bennett, someone that I greatly admire, and someone that I basically get my advice from when I'm in need, when I have those womanly concerns. She's definitely somebody that I can talk to. And one of the reasons why I feel like I can talk to you, Miss Rose, is because, one, you do keep it real. I mean, and I don't know that a lot of, church mothers want to just be that forward and that honest. And I definitely appreciate the fact that you do keep it real. And in addition to that, one time you checked me, but okay, we ain't gonna get into that. We ain't gonna get into my dirt, but you did check me one time. But before the break, we were talking, about your husband, and you were saying that he is heaven sent. And however, you did say that you met him, in the club, and he was a bartender. But he's not anymore, right? He doesn't.
No, he's in the church. He's a worker in the church. He does our video ministry in the church, and he's just fantastic, and I love him to death.
Oh, good. All righty then. So although it didn't begin one way, but it's definitely ending a whole nother way.
Yes.
Well, I guess the Bible is right when it says the end of the thing is better than the beginning of the thing.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
So, well, did you pray him in? Or can we ask you that? Did you pray him in?
No, I didn't really, because I really wasn't looking for anybody. And that place that I was in at that time, I definitely wasn't looking and wasn't expecting anything. But, God always have a different plan. Well, not a different plan, but he always have a plan for your life.
Right.
So.
And I guess he always does use things for your good, too.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
When I asked, did you pray him in, were you the one that, did you get saved first, or were you going to church first, or did y'all kind of both go together? Like, how did that happen?
We kind of both, started out together, because actually, when I started back going to church, I was going to the church that he was a member of.
Oh, okay.
So, and we sort of started going at the same time.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting. So if there's a married couple out there, maybe it's someone, the wife is kind of going to church and she would like, her husband to go, what would you suggest she do? Because I know that, well, most of us, or some of us, I guess, would be trying to, harp on them, like, come on, go, you gotta cut, what would you suggest that?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't harp on them, because a lot of times that could turn people off. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't be and in fact, you shouldn't be judgmental, because that's what you're being when you're telling a person, well, you should go to church, or you should do this, or you should do that. You're being judgmental, and the Bible tells us not to be judgmental, but you should let your actions and let Christ, show through you. So that in itself is an encouragement for whoever you're around, and for especially your spouse. Because if you're getting up every Sunday going to church and you're involved in different things, sooner or later, they're going to come around. They're going to, unless you're, be gruntled or, or making remarks and stuff like that, then that's just not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it.
Okay, well, you did mention that, you were involved in a church and you do a lot of things around the church and stuff like that, and you do have events. And I mean, you're always sending me some type of email about some event that you're having. So can you tell us about some of the events that you've actually put on and had and done?
Well, a couple years ago, we did a women's event called Take Off the Mask. And that went really well, and it was women in our church, and I did involve myself in that one.
Okay.
So we sort of told our story, and then we unveiled ourselves, and that went very well. And a lot of people need to hear your story. They need to hear it, because you never know who's out there you might touch or you might encourage, by what you have been through. So that was the purpose of that. And most of the events that I do, they're in our church. They're church related.
Okay.
So, and the women of our church, we try to reach out and do different things. We have an event coming up next month on March 15th.
Oh, okay.
And it's a luncheon, and it's called God's Abundant Favor.
Okay.
And I have a flyer here, too, that I'm going to leave with you.
Okay.
And and we're encouraging everybody to come out. Now, if you happen to see the flyer, it'll say God's Abundant Favor Mother and Daughter Luncheon. But anything that's for Christ, that's done in Christ, is for everybody, saved and unsaved, boys and girls, women and men, Christ sisters and Christ brothers. It's for everybody. That's just the title of it.
Right.
So I just want to, if anybody's interested, they can give me a call. My number is on the flyer, and I'm going to leave some flyers here at WIMG.
Well, you're welcome to say your number now if you don't mind.
Okay, they could give me a call. My number is 609-695-5132. The luncheon is going to be held Saturday, March 15th at 1 o'clock, and it's going to be at the Big Easy Banquet Hall at 120 South Warren Street here in Trenton.
And it's a mother and daughter. Well, is it for like Mother's Day or something like
no,
that?
It's for
not.
March is Women's History Month.
Oh, it's for Women's
so
History Month.
we always do something in March. Whether it be a banquet or some type of luncheon, or we always do something, in March.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. And what are some of the acts that's going to be there?
Well, like I said, it's a luncheon, so of course we're gonna
serve lunch,
be fed. And it's gonna be, we're getting a speaker is gonna be there. She's an evangelist, Evangelist Kenyatta Burgess. She's from Calvary Missionary Baptist Church on East State Street. So she's gonna be bringing us an encouraging word on God's abundant favor. And there's going to be another young lady there. I don't know exactly what it is she's going to do, but she's going to do a one-woman skit for us. And in case you guys don't know who it is, it's Miss Donna Wellons. And there's going to be some singing, and we're going to have a vendor there that'll be selling a little bit of items.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, it sounds great. It really sounds great. I mean, it's awesome.
I'm sure.
It really sounds awesome. Oh, that I'm going to be there now. Well, you know what? I definitely look forward to the event. But I also look forward to just strengthening our relationship. Miss Rose, I definitely thank you for all the encouragement that you have been to me. But not only that, I noticed that you reach out to different young ladies and people in the community to do different things for your events. I noticed that that there's oh my God, I've done seen many young women that you encourage and that you pull in. Where do you find these women to perform for you and to do different things? It's hard to find acts and talent and speakers and stuff like that. Where do you find them?
Well, mostly from either my friends' children or my children's friends. So,
no, that's right.
So, I mean, you got to use your resources.
Listen, you got to use your kids.
You got to use your resources.
We're supposed to be using our kids. Listen, Miss Rose be using them for and that one daughter. Oh, wow. But see, Miss Rose, that's the beauty of it. And I think that's something that we don't see in this generation is that that communication and that relationship between the parents and the kids' friends.
Yeah.
You know, like it seems to me like most of the parents kind of stay away from, you know, their kids' friends, and I don't know that if they understand the impact that it has on them paying attention to your kids' friends. Like it had a big impact on me, you paying attention to me as a kid. So I mean, before we leave, because we got like 3 minutes, just can you give an encouraging word to this generation, even to your generation? Like what would you want to tell the next generation?
Not so much tell the next generation, but to tell the generation, my generations and the ones that's right under me,
yes,
that there's an old African proverb that says, each one reach one, each one teach one. And that's what we need to be doing in our communities. That's what we need to be doing with our children. You could live next door to a young lady or a young girl that might be going astray or whatever, and instead of sitting around talking about her, what she doing and doing this, ask her, do she want to go to church with you on Sunday, or ask her, do she want to go to lunch with you, or just do something nice for a young person. And you never know how it might change their life, or change your life for that matter.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming out, and we got 2 minutes left. If you would like to give your telephone number information just one more time, just in case anybody want tickets or want to come out to the mother-daughter luncheon.
Okay, like I said before, the title of it is Mother-Daughter Luncheon. But what it really is, it's another chance to bring families together. So, I mean, if you have a father, a son, you guys could come out. If you're a father with a daughter, a father with a son, a mother with a daughter, a mother with a son, it's open to everybody. And like I said, it's at the Big Easy on March 15th at 1 o'clock. It's a luncheon. We're going to have some entertainment, some food. You're going to get a good word, and it's not going to be long. You're not going to be there all day. And the tickets are $30 for adults and $12 for children 12 and under. And and if you would like tickets, you can reach me at 609-695-5132, or you can call the church, New Mount Carmel Baptist Church, at 609-392-8270.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Rosen. Thank you so much for coming out and being my guest tonight.
You're welcome.
I greatly appreciate it, and I enjoyed our conversation. And as always, I enjoy your encouraging words. You've been such a blessing in my life and an encourager in my life. And I'm glad that I was able to tell the world that on this WIMG Stellar Award-winning station. And with that being said, this was today's topic, and we'll see you later.